Well, welcome everyone to our workshop today. We're going to be talking about R&D tax credits, which stand for research and development. We want to welcome all of you today so you can get some information. This is information that you need to talk to your existing company about, whether you're an employee, whether you are in the C-suite, a business owner. This is very important information. This is information that 80% of the business owners do not know about. Welcome. So we're going to go ahead and let me put this on slideshow. Nobody showing it? Great. All right. So again, I represent Tributant Tax Advisors. I am not a CPA. I do not give tax advice. What I basically do is provide educational workshops, and I connect you with the CPA firm that I am representing, which is Patrick Shelley's CPA firm. Patrick is one of the most innovative people that I have seen in the industry, and his company has served many companies across the country. As you can see, Patrick is a definite entrepreneur. He owns 4 different companies, and he started this back when this particular tax credit became a tax credit that was turned permanent. That's important because a lot of you may get a R&D tax credit mixed up with an ERC. ERC is something that was part of the COVID stimulus. This is a permanent tax credit started back in 1981. So again, I know there's a glitch with the screen, so it looks a little off, but this is a little bit about me. I've been over in the financial services industry for over 40 years. And again, we are focusing on unlocking capital for companies throughout the country. And one of the ways that we do that is the research and development tax credits. We also help companies with the FICO payroll tax credit program, the fiduciary group health disruption credits. I've been featured on many national television shows, as well as in many outlets such as MSNBC, U.S. News, so on and so forth. That's enough about me. R&D tax credits. They should have named this the new product and processes, because people think that this is some type of tax thing. It's really not. So again, I apologize for the film background on the actual screen, but there are billions of dollars. There are billions of dollars that are available every single year, and quite frankly, most companies have no idea how to get it. Their CPAs are not up to par because there's over 5,000 tax credits that are out there in the tax codes and 90,000 pages of tax codes. So how can they keep up with that? That is definitely not possible. So that's when you have niche CPA firms that come in and they concentrate on exactly what they do. So again, this is the history of the R&D tax credit. Started in 1981 under the Ronald Reagan administration. Fast forward to 2015. It's the Protecting Americans Tax Hikes PATH Act of 2015. Basically in 2016, it used to be strictly for manufacturers. Now it is for many different industries. Only $15 billion out of the total $100 billion was claimed last year, leaving most of the money on the table. The government has money for your company, but you don't know about it. This is money. If you're paying taxes, you need to know about this because this can offset. Now let's talk about the typical people. When you say R&D or research development, you typically think about the scientists in the white coat like this. But absolutely, that they can get it, but that is absolutely wrong. Now, what qualifies as R&D? The R&D really is anything that is innovative, creative, any new process, anything having to do with software, anything having to do with AI, manufacturing, and I'm going to go over some areas in a little bit that you don't even know about that your company may qualify for. So again, the wine industry, that industry pretty much, if the company is profitable, the wine industry pretty much will qualify for R&D tax credits. In addition to that, did you know that every single brewery out there and distillery, because of the processes that they're doing, they're always improving? Do you understand that all of these industries qualify for R&D tax credits? How to pursue the R&D tax credits? Basically, it's a process, and once you go through it, you meet with the CPA firm and their team. What they're going to basically do is ask you a ton of questions to see if you qualify for the R&D tax credit. So again, software companies, just about every type of software is going to be eligible because they're continually trying to improve. They're testing. That's what qualifies you. Construction engineering, another area where you're going to qualify for the R&D tax credit. So again, it's the Internet of Things. So again, there's remote sensing, our agricultural drones, smart greenhouse, climate conditions, livestock monitoring. All of these things make a company eligible for R&D tax credits. Manufacturing, construction, engineering, agriculture, architecture, software and tech. Again, they are all eligible. Let's take a look at food and retail, healthcare, manufacturing, materials handling and processing, metalworking. Again, all of these areas are areas that you don't know about that are actually eligible for R&D tax credits. Let's take a look at a few of the companies that we work with. I'm not going to go into specifics, but take an e-commerce company. This e-commerce company was eligible for $2.2 million in R&D tax credits. Take an apparel company. Would you think an apparel company would be eligible for R&D tax credits? Well, the processes that they go through to make the apparel is going to make them eligible. So again, digital marketing agencies. Autism is a big one. We were able to just get approximately this company had $60 million in revenue. They were eligible for $2.5 million in R&D tax credits. Startups, because of the big beautiful bill, are now eligible for up to $500,000 in R&D tax credits, where previously it was $250K. So even if your company is not profitable, guess what? It was just raised by the Trump administration to $500,000. So if you got a sizable company and you're paying payroll taxes, even though you're not profitable, guess what? You're going to be able to get R&D tax credits. And again, you can double dip with R&D tax credits. So these are all eligible costs that a niche CPA would know how to do, where your basic CPA probably does not. Staff costs, software, light, heat, power, external workers, clinical volunteers, third-party payments, research contributions. Again, does your effort do all the following? Improves a product or process, is technological in nature, aims to eliminate uncertainty, uses a process of experimentation. All of these are ways that your company, if you do most of these, you're going to be able to get some R&D tax credit money. So again, bottom line, most of the major corporations are benefiting from this, but the ones that are not the major corporations are not. What does your company make? What are you trying to improve? What type of innovations or creativity are you up to? Most companies are doing, especially now in the technical age, are going to be doing some of the things I'm speaking about. And if that's the case, guess what? You're going to be eligible for R&D tax credits. So again, this is Senator Chuck Grassley, who is a senior member of Congress. Just want to read what he says. He says, I've always believed in that the tax code should encourage the success of smart and medium businesses for creating jobs for small business and medium-sized businesses, because they're the economic engine of our economy. But what worries me is that many of you here, business owners and accountants, he was speaking at a convention with CPAs and business owners, too often think that the tax incentives, that these just happen to be for big corporations. I want you to impress upon you that nothing could be further from the truth. Too often, small and medium-sized businesses just simply are not taking advantage of the R&D and many other incentives. A comedian once said that 90% of life is showing up. The same is true with tax for small business and medium businesses. You need to show up. So basically, there's a reason you guys hear about the huge corporations that they don't pay taxes. R&D tax credit is one of the huge reasons why. Look at this. Take a look at FedEx, Nike, Amazon, all the huge companies. They're not paying taxes. You know why? Because they take advantage of the tax laws. They have the huge companies that are CPA firms, and they know about R&D tax credits as a result. Look at that. Why do you think these companies pay zero taxes and get $3.5 billion in tax credits? Mainly because of R&D tax credits. This is something your company definitely needs to know about. Well, I'll tell you what. The benefits of the R&D tax credit, it's a hidden and immediate source of cash for many companies, increased market value. Also, your EBITDA goes up 5 to 10% because you have R&D tax credits. Lowered the company's effective tax rate, creates a significant reduction to current and future years federal and state law tax liabilities. Permanent. So guess what? If you get it this year, you're going to get it every single year. Excuse me. So again, we have proprietary software, but you know what? Software is only a part of it. Most CPAs, if they just use a software program and they try to file this, they're going to get rejected by the IRS because there's more to it. You have to have testing that goes on. Matter of fact, the IRS now is requiring basically a short overview from the niche CPA firm of why they qualify for R&D for each case. And if you don't have that, you're going to get rejected. But also what it's going to do, it's going to turn on that dreaded word for companies when you have someone trying to file it for a CPA that's small, that doesn't know how to do it. They may cause an actual audit. With our firm, he's never gone through an audit where I think in what, 9 years, it's been 2 or 3 questions back from the IRS, and that's it. They all passed. So again, you want to make sure that you're doing this with someone that actually knows what they're talking about. So again, a lot of times people are, well, how come my CPA hasn't told me about this? Because most of the time your CPA does not know how to do an R&D tax credit. And as a result, we work with many CPAs and accountants with our team to educate them on how to do this. So you want to make sure that you reach out. Let's have a conversation how we can possibly help you. Again, we've helped over 1,800 companies claim millions in R&D tax credits. Again, it just keeps increasing and increasing and increasing. We have more and more companies coming into the fold. So again, Uncle Dan Consulting Corp, you know, you guys are, if you're a business owner or a company, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So what you want to do is make sure that, you know, you do your due diligence, find out more about this, reach out to me. There's my email address, even though we have a little glitch there. And let's talk about this. Because again, you know, many times, we just did a company that had over 200 employees. Their R&D tax credit is going to be about $3 million. What does that mean? Before I go, I hope you understand. Let's assume a company has a liability of $500,000. They have to pay it. Write a check to the IRS this year, right? We do the R&D tax credit, and the actual study shows that it's an R&D tax credit of $500,000. That check, instead of writing that check to the IRS, you get to keep that money and put it in innovations. But it gets better, because what happens is we can go backwards the total of 4 years, but we can go backwards 3 years previous to this year, and we can recapture. So if you, let's assume that your company paid $500,000 per year in federal taxes. And do you think it would be helpful in about 2 to 3 months that we filed the actual study? The study says that your R&D is $500,000, and you get a check back from the IRS for $1.5 million. You think that would be valuable for a company? I think it would be. So what I want you to do, you see my email address there, dan@uncledanconsulting.com. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to take a look and see what we're doing with this. Education is the key. Thank you very much. I'm Uncle Dan. We'll see you. I'll be waiting for that email. Thank you.